Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sort of a Cooking Show from Yeah, I'd Hang Out with Her. This month, it's going to be a little bit different. This is a highly requested video because it's sourdough. So the most important ingredients that you're going to need are going to be, obviously, an active sourdough starter. Mine's name is Mary Lou Conroy. She was the narrator of a great PBS show called Great Chefs.
The filling is made with eggs, sugar, lemon juice, lemon zest, and butter.
In the 90s. And then flour, water, and salt. It's the most miraculous thing ever, that literally you can make something alive out of just flour and water. It's wild. So if you don't have an active starter yet, you can either start your own. Again, I would refer to the Clever Carrot for that. This isn't going to be a sourdough starter video. Maybe I'll do that later. This is just about baking once you have your starter. But I am going to go through the whole process and a hypothetical schedule with you, although I am not technically starting on schedule today. I'm going to tell you what I would do on an ideal sourdough baking day. Let's begin. I have just taken Mary Lou out of the refrigerator this morning. I transferred her to a new jar so that it looks like I keep her in a beautiful jar. Usually this looks like an insane trash dump jar. No offense. Also, now, some people don't agree with me, but you need to talk to your starter. You need to tell her how beautiful she is, how good she smells, and how bubbly she is, and how she's going to bake you so many amazing, beautiful loaves, and how much you appreciate her and how proud you are of her. And you have to mean it. You really have to mean it. Anyway, I love Mary Lou. The way that I feed my starter is a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning that it's a 100% hydration starter and loaf. Again, that's just how I do it. There are so many amazing ways to do this. Get curious. So that's what we're going to start with. I'm going to zoom you in so you can sort of see me feeding the starter. And I guess I should just go ahead and tell you the schedule up top here. Also, let me stop to say, if you have not gotten a kitchen scale by now, what video are we on? 6, 7, something like that? Get a kitchen scale. I'm not going to be nice about it anymore. You have to have one of these if you're going to bake. And everybody should be baking. Get a kitchen scale. Okay, here's what my schedule would look like. Overview. 9 a.m. feed starter. 1 p.m. starter is ready. We make dough. From 1 to 3, we will be doing stretch and folds. From about 3 to 10:30 or 11 p.m., we'll be letting that bulk rise on the counter and about double in size. Then we will shape, put it in a banneton to rest, put her in the fridge overnight. The next morning is when we will bake our loaves. So this is going to be about a 4-part video, and I'm probably, at least hopefully, going to be wearing different outfits at the various different times. I hope you enjoy. I hope that you make your own sourdough program. It's my favorite thing that I do. Baking bread is my most favorite thing in the world to bake. It really is. She's alive. Okay, let's do this. Yeah, so I'm starting with 90 grams of starter, 90 grams of flour, 90 grams of water, and then you want to just stir this up. Just stir it really, really well. Okay. So she looks like pancake batter. Great. And now the reason that I have this rubber band on here is so that I can tell where her starting point is. So I will now put the rubber band where the top of the starter mixture starts. and then we'll be able to see how much she grows. So now what we'll do is just let her grow for the next, 4 or 5 hours. She's already starting to bubble. Again, we're going to tell her how beautiful she is and how much we love her and how excited we are to see what she does. Okay, let's go. I'm going to go ahead and start this dough. We're going to be up for another 2 hours. So I'm going to show you the dough ingredients and then how to do a stretch and fold. And you can see how she has sort of doubled in size, basically. Usually she grows to like here though, so I don't really know what's going on. Glass of water, and then just take a little spoonful of your starter. If it floats, she's ready to use. So I use around 80 grams of starter. I just pour it directly into a bowl. Again, of course, using my kitchen scale. And then 325 grams of water, warm water. With a fork, I mix those together. Next, you're going to add 500 grams of bread flour. And 9 grams of salt. And then we're going to mix those together as well until it forms a very shaggy dough. And at a certain point, you will want to use your hands. Okay. So once you've got that together in kind of a messy, shaggy ball, we're going to cover that and let it rest for 30 minutes and then start doing our stretch and folds every 30 minutes for about 2 hours. Cover 30 minutes. The dough is still really shaggy and wet. So the purpose of a stretch and fold is to build the gluten for your loaf. It's actually helpful if you wet your fingers just a little bit. You're going to take one side of the dough, pull it up and fold it over. Turn your bowl a quarter of the way. Same thing, other side. Turn again. Up and over. And then one more. Up and over. Form it into a cute little ball. Cover it again. And then in another 30 minutes, we'll do the same thing. Okay, it's the next day, and this is how much they've risen overnight, and I'm doing a voiceover for the first time. Hope you like it. As you can see, they've doubled in size. So we're going to shape these and then put them in the fridge, and then I'll bake one off this afternoon and one in the morning, and we'll experiment and see what we think. Okay? So what we're going to do first is flour these. A little flour in the bottom of those. You need flour anyway, and then just sort of bang it around in there. Just want to get it coated so it doesn't stick to the basket, and also so it sort of coats the bread a little bit. So we'll scrape her out with the bowl. A little bit sticky. Just right onto the cutting board. And again, you'll want some flour on your board. And then the way I do this, I've never been able to make it look beautiful like real bread bakers do, but I just sort of give it a little roll. I shape it very lightly, and sometimes you'll start to see air bubbles come out, in which case, again, I just sort of roll that. You can sort of pick at the little air bubbles. She is alive, don't forget. Yeah, so sort of like a tucking and a pulling. Just until she gets nice and round. Okay. See how cute she is? So I'm going to do our first one that we made together. Let's go ahead and just get rid of those little air bubbles. We're going to put her this side down, so seam side up, into your basket. It does help if you have a little bench scraper, pastry scraper for this, but you don't need that. So put her seam side down. She's got a little wrinkly butt there. That's fine. It usually calms down a little bit. Cover again, and then we'll put her in the fridge for the next, ideally, 8 to 12 hours, but we're going to see her again in about 4. And again, this is one of those things that I encourage you to go Google or YouTube search sourdough shaping, bread shaping. People are way better at this than I am. Here we are. We're at the finish line. We will now score and bake our sourdough. What a journey. My sister-in-law, Amber, you all know her now, got me this lovely, I think they're called alam, whatever. It's a razor blade, and it comes with this cool thing that you can attach your blade to. I never do that. Sorry, Amber. I just hold a razor blade and score it. So for the baking, preheat your oven. I preheat mine to 435, but that's also because I know my oven. Alan and I also don't like cut the roof of your mouth sourdough. So we don't like a really crusty, dark brown loaf. A lot of people love that. More power to you. I like soft, a little fluffier, smushier. That's our vibe over here. So I cook it on a little bit of a cooler oven. People go anywhere from 450 to 500. People also like to heat their Dutch ovens in, or while the oven is preheating, people will put their Dutch ovens in there. I don't do that either. This is the way I do it. So 435, my oven is preheated. I'm going to bring you in here now. We'll score, we'll bake, we'll eat bread with butter. We will love our lives. What you're going to want is a piece of parchment paper that's big enough to set your loaf down into your Dutch oven. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. But what we're going to do first is, sort of evenly place our parchment over your little basket and just go ahead and turn your dough. Look how cute she is out on to your parchment. I like to spread the flour residue around just a little more evenly. She's a little flat, but hopefully she'll rise. Again, with sourdough, as with all baking, always, it's kind of a crapshoot. You never know exactly what you're going to turn out with, especially with something that, like I've mentioned 1,000 times, is alive. She's going to be feeling however she's feeling today. We're going to see what happens. We're going to let her be who she is. All right, so scoring. Let me just see if you can see my hands. You can pretty much see my hands. You want to do one pretty good deep groove which is basically like a seam where the steam from inside your loaf can escape so that the loaf doesn't like explode, basically. So I like to do one long swoop along the edge. And you just got to commit. Again, I'm not great at this. My sister-in-law is amazing at it. It's something you practice. You practice, you get better every time. And then my favorite pattern to do is just a little doop, doop, doop. Let's do 3. 3 is my favorite number. And then go back on the other side so that you end up getting these cute kind of like heart shapes when it bakes. You'll see. Okay, so there's our scored loaf. Cute. Now we will take our Dutch oven here. My Dutch oven is a little bit narrow, so it's a tight fit for her, but she's in. I like to sort of zhuzh my parchment paper. You can see how she's kind of wrinkled in here a little bit. She's nestled. She's nestled. Can you see her? Can you see? She's nestled. So she'll have like a few little wrinkles when she comes out of the oven, but again, I love these loaves because they do tend to rise and get really poofy and cute. So goes into the oven at 435, cover on. We will bake it with the cover on for 20 minutes and then take it out of the oven, take the cover off, put it back in the oven for another 30, and then she will be ready. Let's do it. All right. Into a hot oven. 20 minutes, lid on. 20 minutes is up. We are going to take the top off. Oh, she's cute. I don't know if you can see her or not, but I don't want to let too much heat out of the oven. Close that up. And another 30. Make sure you warn everybody in your house that there's a very hot piece of, what is this, pot? There's a hot piece of ceramic sitting out. Okay, and this is where I forgot to turn my microphone back on. So 30 more minutes is up. She's finished. Wow. I mean, wow. Look at her. All right, so we're going to take her out of the oven. I'm talking about, who even knows what I'm talking about, but let's get rid of those hot pads. And now we're going to lift her out of that Dutch oven using the parchment. Kind of spread that out. Marvel at being alive, that we're cooking with things being alive. We're so excited. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. Oh, wait. Yeah. Oh, let's take a trip over and see how cute she is. Look at that. Look at that scoring. See how she's a little bit lighter in color? That's because I bake her at a cooler temperature. And whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, bye, bye. Okay, actually, I decided to come back for one more thing. This is the oval loaf that I made that I haven't really talked about since we did the stretch and folds, but I wanted to just show you this scoring because I really liked how it turned out. So again, we always have that one big seam, and then I just do a little whoop, 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 whoop. And then I decide to do a bunch of little whoops that turn out really cute. So I'm going to show you those. Beep, 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 beep. Okay. Anyway, they turn out really cute when it comes out of the oven, and I will show you that loaf. And okay, let's just cut to that loaf being done. Wow. She's very beautiful. Cute sisters. Okay, I literally have to be at work in 15 minutes. Let's try this bread. Ooh. Okay, again, we like a softer sourdough. So far, she feels pretty nice and soft. And she's beautiful. See her? We love her. Yeah, and she's still warm. So we love that. Let's go from this side. Slicing sourdough is the bane of my existence, especially if it's warm. It's flimsy. and really hard to cut. Okay, done. And then, I don't know if this is right, but I'm not going to put this in a bag or wrap it up while it's still warm at all, because it'll get, wet and weird and condensation-y. So I leave them just bread side down, let them cool. I don't know if that's the right thing to do. All right, let's put some butter. Ooh, that's a lot of butter. A little bit of salt, why not? Damn. There's nothing better than home baked bread, especially sourdough. Wow. It's great. She's perfect. I love her. Anyway, thank you for joining me for another episode of Sort of a Cooking Show from How? What? From How? Thank you for joining me for another episode of Sort of a Cooking Show from I'd hang out with her. I'll leave some more instructions in the notes for this because I feel like following along with this bizarre video is going to be a little weird, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, I also encourage you very much to do your own research. Fall down a rabbit hole on YouTube. Have fun. There's so many sourdough videos and people who are really, really good at it. There's way more complicated recipes. You can really, really get into it. But this is simple. This is easy. Please try it. Everybody can bake. And this costs like what? A bag of flour costs $5, and I get like 5 loaves out of that. You can buy a loaf of sourdough is going to cost you $8 to $14. Okay? You should bake your own bread. Okay, love you. Bye.